Hello, dear friends. All the madness on the streets is just as crazy in boardrooms and suites, high at the top of the lightning-struck towers, according to Poetalk. Opinion piece: free energy, slow progress, end of isolation, perpetual motion, the secret of sound. It will start in Japan. 0 point of creation, free energy with the Earth's rotation. Let's start. Free energy is being slowly introduced with some galactic help, according to Paul White Gold Eagle. Slow propagation of suppressed technology is taking place, and they are allowing the Japanese to reveal it in order to gradually introduce it into the collective consciousness. Japan's Ohishima project aims to transmit solar energy from space this year. The stereotype that Asians are intelligent makes it easier for ordinary people to believe in them. They designed the revelation to seem like a new discovery, when in reality it's old technology hidden from the public for decades. Free energy from space is underway, and tiny silver batteries that will power every home are on the way. It will be presented as an innovation, but it's simply galactic technology being introduced to the general public. First, solar power in space, then Tesla towers, and finally, point zero. Welcome to the slow advance of the new energy paradigm. Definition: free energy is the power that is available to be used or harnessed to do something. There is talk of a future of free and unlimited energy if networks of renewable sources are very cheap technology are achieved without having to buy fuel. José Luis Cordeiro speaks of a future in which energy will be so abundant and cheap that it will seem almost infinite and free. 0 point energy is the minimum energy a system can have, even when it is in its lowest possible state. The minimum energy is called 0 point energy, and it is also associated with the energy of the quantum vacuum. Empty space would have a perceptible background energy according to quantum theory. Scientists discovered that when one stops actively thinking, energy consumption never decreases. This is called a default mode network. This demonstrates the conservation of energy even in an active state. It's like a computer that never turns off. 0 point. The 0 point of creation. All creation begins with a single still center, a point of tranquil potential, from which everything else expands outward in ever-widening circles, and continues to expand in ever-expanding circles of light, love, and freedom. Dr. Stephen Greer was invited by White Hats to an underground research facility to be shown the advanced healing technology they possess and are working to bring to light, according to Paul White Gold Eagle. Whoever knows the secret of sound knows the mystery of the entire universe, said Hadrat in a Yat Kam. Advanced civilizations of our time mastered this knowledge and use it to heal and empower their people, according to Paul White Gold Eagle. Is free energy coming to everyone? A group of scientists is working on a technique to generate free energy using the Earth's rotation. Physicists at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory have built a device that interacts with Earth's magnetic field. It consists of a cylinder made of manganese and zinc ferrite, designed to act as a kind of magnetic shield. Asia. Afghanistan launches large-scale operations against Pakistan. The case of a young woman who killed men with the help of ChatGPT shocks South Korea. Japan's former finance minister admitted that he handed over control of the financial system to a group of Western oligarchs because Japan has been threatened. Ukraine and the US conclude meetings focused on post-war reconstruction. Ukraine blew up the Druzhba oil pipeline and has cut off 86% of Hungary's oil supply and 100% of Slovakia's. In response, Slovakia announced that it will cut off electricity exports to Ukraine. Hungary labels Ukraine an enemy. The EU asks Ukraine to repair the oil pipeline, and Croatia offers an alternative route. The EU's energy war against Hungary intensifies. Orbán imposes military defenses around critical infrastructure. According to Putin, in quotes, the war in Ukraine in 2022 would never have happened if the US government hadn't been overthrown in 2020. Europe. The ECB will lose 1,254 billion euros in 2025, marking 3 consecutive years of negative growth. The EU's most important decisions are made in a bunker. This is a complex of several rooms that includes space designed to guarantee confidentiality. More than 2/3 of Europeans fear for their country's security in the face of Russia. 1 in 3 university graduates ends up working in a field unrelated to their studies. Germany will build its first nuclear fusion power plant in Bavaria. Le Pen will not run in the 2027 elections if she is required to wear an electronic ankle monitor. Poland surpasses Spain in per capita income. Spain, Ireland, Slovenia, and the Netherlands withdraw from Eurovision due to Israel's participation. Brussels approves Spain's V16 beacon. Spain. Congress approves pension revaluation and rejects the social safety net. Sanchez wants to enshrine abortion in the Constitution. Sanchez denies suffering from cardiovascular disease. Yolanda Díaz announces she will not run again as the Sumar candidate in the upcoming elections. The Supreme Court rejects the appeal to overturn the sentence against former Attorney General García Ortiz. Joaquín Sabina gives an emotional farewell at his last concert. Indra shares surge 21% in their best session of the century. Bank of America criticizes Spain's risk premium. Goldman Sachs says Spain has more political risk than Italy. JP Morgan advises against investing in Spanish debt given Trump's threats. Mercadona is looking for 400 workers for its new Madrid Hive or supermarket. Housing prices hit a record high in the 2025, rising by 7.5%. The Ministry of Consumer Affairs will forbid the sale of energy drinks to minors under 16. Antonio Tejero, the lieutenant colonel who stormed the Congress on February 23rd, has died. 6 members of the secret services knew about or collaborated in the coup. Agreement on Gibraltar, demolition of the defense, double border control and shared use of the airport. The Sahrawi people still lack their state half a century later. The Canary Islands registered a 4.1 magnitude earthquake between Tenerife and Gran Canaria. Pope Leo XIV will visit Spain from June 6 to 12. Spain will send food and medical supplies to Cuba. Spain will ask the EU to lift sanctions against Delcy Rodriguez. Spain expels the Nicaraguan ambassador after the expulsion of the Spanish ambassador in Managua. A member of the Colombian guerrilla group is arrested in Madrid for money laundering. Americas. Terrians will explain in Mexico why they identify with animals. More than 12 million Mexicans lack the resources to afford basic necessities. Political parties in Mexico receive more than $4.3 billion. Mexico's president presents an electoral reform project. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says that using force against cattle violates their civil rights. Incredible. The cattle war in Mexico is causing a resurgence of demos in the US. Mexico reaffirms all guarantees for hosting the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Mexican transport workers announced a nationwide strike after cattle attacks left 6 drivers dead and destroyed 200 trailers. Dominican singer Maciel Taveras was stopped several times when she tried to display her cape with a giant Christ figure on the Cannes red carpet. Logistics activity drives the Panamanian economy. The US prevents the Venezuelan government from paying for Maduro's defense. Venezuela denounces that Panama forced the opening of a diplomatic putsch. Tarek William Saab resigns as Venezuela's Attorney General. Colombia ranks among the 15 countries with the worst quality of life. More than half of Colombians believe that democracy is weakening. A mad volcano erupted in San Juan de Urabá, Colombia, prompting evacuations in the surrounding areas. Ecuador increases taxes on Colombian products to 50%. The new Peruvian government wants to avoid major changes. Peru declares a state of emergency after El Niño floods in Arequipa. Evo Morales returns to politics with criticism of the Bolivian government. Argentina and Uruguay ratify the Mercosur-EU trade agreement. The Argentine economy expands, but the decline in industry deepens. Food prices are rising in Argentina. The Chinese automotive industry continues to gain ground in Argentina. Argentina's main opposition party is facing a problem of internal cohesion. Argentina's Supreme Court rules against the mayor of Buenos Aires for money laundering. The final between Argentina and Spain will be held on March 27th in Qatar. Brazilian drug traffickers were filming with their rifles in the tree-border area of the jungle when they were struck by lightning. Divine justice. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.